Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. My name is Kelly Igorova. I am the Assistant Dean of Graduate Admissions in the College of Engineering. I want to first acknowledge and celebrate that today and this week is National Engineers Week. And so the College of Engineering at Northeastern, much like many of our counterparts around the nation, are celebrating all of the incredible work of the engineers that they do both domestically and around the globe. And so as you embark on this journey into becoming an engineer, or some of you may already be an engineer, I look forward to sharing in this experience with you. A little bit about Northeastern University. Northeastern is a top-ranked R1 research and experiential university. This is the highest ranking that a university can achieve within the United States in terms of research, opportunities for students to participate, and then also to then make connections as part of their graduate experience, whether you are interested in pursuing a master's or a PhD. We are continually ranked number one in co-op and internships, which is, and I will go through co-ops in more detail, but it is a cornerstone to the Northeastern experience. At Northeastern, you will hear all about experiential learning, applied hands-on learning as part of your degree program. And this is truly what we feel sets our students ahead and really makes them stand out as they begin going into the workforce. Later on in this webinar, you'll hear from several of my colleagues around the university who will share a little bit about some of the resources and incredible opportunities that you will have as part of your master's or your PhD program. Northeastern is comprised of 10 colleges and schools, with the College of Engineering being one of the largest. We have over 50,000 students across our global campus network, and our degrees go from the bachelor's up to the doctorate level. We received $296 million in external research awards, and we're located in Boston, but we are part of a global university system where we have 13 campuses, both in the United States, in Canada, as well as in the UK. Here you can see where we're laid out across the globe. The College of Engineering flagship campus in Boston, the Portland campus, the Root Institute in Portland, Maine, is an incredible campus for students who are interested in hands-on learning, a deep connection with Jackson Laboratories, Maine Medical. We have some of the best faculty in terms of biosynthetic biology. We have information systems engineers that are based in this campus. It's a very short drive to Boston, only an hour and a half. And so if you're looking for a seaside campus with deep connections into the local community, as well as a more personal relationship with faculty, I would highly encourage you to look at our Portland campus. Arlington, Virginia, very close to the nation's capital. We do a lot of work there with the DoD, as well as some other opportunities at both the federal and the state levels. Miami is one of our newest campuses where we have information systems and information systems bridge. For those of you who do not like the cold, I highly suggest checking out our Miami campus. It is very warm there. And if you don't know, we just received about 3 feet of snow in Boston yesterday. So Miami is looking pretty good to us right now. Toronto and Vancouver, they are, of course, in Canada. Very different campuses, both very incredible campuses. Toronto, if you love food, Vancouver, if you love the tech world, Seattle as well on the West Coast, as well as Oakland, and Silicon Valley needs just about no explanation. I think everybody knows Silicon Valley. So not all of our programs are offered at all of these campuses. However, many of our programs are offered. Information systems, certainly at most of these, electrical and computer engineering in Seattle, information systems in Portland, and data analytics engineering in Seattle and Vancouver as well. A little bit about COE specifically. So we have about 10,000 students now within between our bachelor's, master's, and our PhD programs. And interestingly and very uniquely, our graduate population is almost twice as large as our undergraduate population. And this is a testament to us being an R1 research university that is truly dedicated to graduate professionals. And we do believe in creating engineers who will be transformative engineers, both within the United States and importantly around the globe. Our master's class is about 33% uh, growth from fall 2020 to fall 2025. So we're growing very rapidly. This is very much supported by our expansion into the global campus network. And we have over 110 academic degrees. So anything that you may wish to study within the engineering field, you're likely to find it at Northeastern. And what I would love to highlight on this stage are the 403 full-time faculty and the 249 tenured and tenure track faculty. This is an important number. If you look at that, you can see that the ratio of the student body to the actual faculty teaching the classes is very small. We really are supportive of a small class where possible. Not to say that all of your classes will be small, but we do try to keep them relatively small. We like to ensure that no matter where you're studying, you have the opportunity to know your faculty and your faculty know you. And this goes into the experiential learning model. This is because our faculty are truly invested in student success. And so they want to get to know you and they want to help make connections for you in your field so that when you graduate, you can go on to get a job. We continue to rank as number 3 in the United States for career placement. And again, this is a testament to all of this infrastructure that we've set up at Northeastern to really help our students succeed. Within the graduate side and within the College of Engineering, we have 6 different departments. We have bioengineering, chemical engineering, mechanical and industrial, civil and environmental, electrical and computer. Our multidisciplinary graduate education program will be called the Information and Software Engineering Department starting in the summer. And so this is where those of you who are interested in information systems, software engineering systems, and data architecture and management, that is where your department will be. For all of the others, you will be in a more traditional department. So here you can just see a little bit of where our programs currently are and where you may have the opportunity to study. Let's talk a little bit about co-op. I've mentioned that co-op is a cornerstone to your graduate education, whether you're interested in the master's or the PhD. Many of our students do pursue a co-op as part of their graduate experience. Unlike an internship, a co-op is an opportunity for you to gain hands-on experience in your field. This means that in an internship, you may be sitting at a front desk, getting coffee. All of those are wonderful experiences, but as an engineer, we want you to do engineering work. And so through the co-ops, our students actually go into a business and they work for 40 hours per week for 4, 6, or 8 months. And they have an opportunity to become an engineer as part of their master's or their PhD. This is extremely important, especially in today's market with the immersion of AI, with the competitiveness of any field that a student is studying. We want to make sure that you have the hands-on experience and that you are making those connections to go on to receive, hopefully, an offer after your co-op. One of the most wonderful things that I see about co-op is that students come back with offers in hand, and this is amazing. The other thing that students often tell me is that a co-op either affirmed the path that they're already going on, and so they know exactly what they want to do, or they learned that there are skills that are happening in industry that they wouldn't have otherwise known. And they shift some of their courses that they're taking for the duration of their master's or their PhD to make sure that they have those skills in order to be successful in industry. And so I cannot stress enough how wonderful the Northeastern Co-op program is. It is the oldest co-op program in the nation, and it actually started within the College of Engineering, which I think is so exciting and something we're so very proud of. And it really is what sets Northeastern apart. On the right-hand side, you can see a list of some companies that our students have gone to participate in a co-op. and then work at. But this is by no means an exhaustive list. So we have 2,600 and growing employers as part of the co-op program. If you identify an employer who is not part of our network already, we're happy to meet with them and bring them on board and help you to secure a co-op through them. A co-op is like a job. It's not guaranteed, but it is something that our students very much appreciate and most of them take advantage of. I mentioned that we are an R1 research university. As part of this, we have 20 multidisciplinary research centers and institutes that are funded by 8 different federal agencies. And no matter what you're studying within the College of Engineering, your degree will always focus on 3 key themes. This is health, security, and sustainability. And so we focus on these. We create students who are interdisciplinary in nature, but that are highly specialized in their field. A few examples of the research centers that we have. You can take a look. The Institute for Wireless Internet of Things, certainly a booming field right now, as well as experiential robotics, our nanosystems, all of these. Some are funded through federal agencies, so you can see on the right-hand side if they're NSF, NIH, DHS, DEE, and others are funded through a combination between private funds and public funds as well. Again, a little bit on our faculty who are incredibly accomplished and for whom we are very proud of. They receive awards both here in the United States and around the globe. And Northeastern has outstanding facilities. So here you're looking at the picture on the left with that spiral staircase is part of the ISEC building. It is the Interdisciplinary Science and Engineering Complex. So for those of you who are interested in bioengineering, chemical engineering, some mechanical engineering, electrical, those are where your classes will largely be held, is in the ISEC building. On the right-hand side, this gold-colored building, it is gold from the sun. It's actually black in person. But this building this is called the EXP building. And so for those of you who are interested in robotics, data analytics engineering, all of those courses, AI, are largely held within our EXP facility. These buildings have won numerous awards for their innovation, for their connections to the local area, and for just everything that it has to offer for our students. And this slide, I think, is so important. We are dedicated to career preparation. So our students become industry ready. They are advanced technical expertise in their areas such as robotics, systems engineering, AI, cybersecurity, renewable energy, and material science. We really focus on that hands-on experience through our state-of-the-art labs. No matter what campus you're studying at, you will be immersed in these incredible fields. We have strong engineering project management and leadership skills, which my colleague Amy and Rachel will be talking about in just a moment. And what I think is incredible is that our students constantly are testing, designing, playing with all of the tools that engineers have, so that when you go out into the real world, you are an expert in the field. And of course, and I say it in every slide, but I can't stress it enough, is this professional network that we have. Through our industry partnerships, the faculty connections are thriving in our technological ecosystems, both here in Boston and in our global campus network. And the goal ultimately is to create incredible engineers. So with that, I want to hand the microphone over to my colleagues Amy and Rachel, who will talk a little bit about the Gordon Engineering Leadership Program.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kelly. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Amy Manley, and I lead admissions, marketing, and recruiting for the Gordon Institute. I'm here with my colleague, Rachel. Rachel, if you want to introduce yourself really quickly.
Sure. Good morning. Yes, I'm Rachel Levin, and I'm the senior marketing and recruiting specialist here at the Gordon Institute.
Thank you, Rachel. So some of you may have already heard from either myself or Rachel. We represent the Gordon Institute of Engineering Leadership at Northeastern. The Gordon Institute is a graduate certificate in engineering leadership that is integrated into the master's degrees offered within the College of Engineering. For most programs, it's fully integrated. So that means when you choose to pursue the Gordon program, you're not adding any additional time or cost to your master's degree. It's an even 32 semester hours. There are some programs that are one or two additional classes to complete the graduate certificate, and you can find all of those on our website. The Gordon program is designed for engineers who have work experience. Co-ops and graduate level internships or internships in undergrad do count towards that. Most of our students come in having enough experience to see what good leadership is and maybe what not so good leadership looks like, and they're looking to really become good leaders in the field of engineering. The goal of the program is to get you the leadership skills sooner rather than going through your career for 10 to 15 years and developing those skills organically so that you can make an impact right away. The program coursework is done over the course of 11 months. So you would be with us in our suite 2 nights a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, taking our courses, which are focused on engineering leadership, scientific foundations, making you more cross-functional, systems engineering, and product development. I always like to tell people that the Gordon program is truly an experience. So you're in class 2 nights a week with the same group of people that span the entire College of Engineering, all different levels of work experience. You might be in class with people that have a couple of co-ops, all the way up to people that have 20 years of work experience and everything in between. You come in and a typical day might look like you have an engineering leadership workshop with Colonel Manning at 4, break for dinner. We do feed you every night to get you networking with your class. And then scientific foundations in the evening. Come back on Thursday. You have product development systems engineering with Steve K. Again, break for dinner. And then we always have a guest speaker every night that comes in, is a leader in industry to tell you a little bit more about their path, what they wish they knew, what lessons they learned. The challenge project is something that everybody's working on as part of their graduate certificate. It really keeps in line with Northeastern's experiential learning model. I like to think of it as being similar to a master's thesis, but it's a technical project that you're going out and doing in industry versus an academic research-based thesis. So all of our students are working as part of the Gordon program in industry and applying the skills that they're learning in the classroom directly to the work that they're doing in industry. If you're interested in learning more, we do have an info session coming up on March 18th. It's virtual. You can find the link to register for that on our website. And we will go more in depth, myself, Rachel, and our engineering leadership professors, more on the Gordon Institute and the graduate certificate. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Kelly.
That's amazing, Amy. A quick question for you. I see it's 11 months. Is this calendar months or is this academic months?
So it's a fall and spring semester that you're taking classes with us. And then during the summer, you're not physically on campus taking classes, but you're finishing up your challenge project. And we'll defend that project in July of the following year.
That's great. Are students able to do this with a co-op as part of their program?
Typically, they do the graduate certificate or co-op, but not both because they're not eligible for co-op as part of the Gordon program because they are taking classes at the same time that they are doing the work in industry. The challenge project is a very substantial project. It's directly related to the student's master's degree. And you are working with faculty from your home department as part of the challenge project. So it's a pretty in-depth project that is very meaningful to the organization that you're working for.
That's
And it
amazing.
is CPT eligible for those students who are international.
Great. Thank you. And you have a pretty extensive and deeply connected alumni network. Can you tell us a little bit about how connected you are with the alums and how they help current Gordon students?
Yes, we do. We have over 500 alumni in the program. This fall will be our 20th year at Northeastern. So we are a relatively small program. We have between 35 and 40 students per year. We get together with our alumni twice a year as an effort to get them networking and getting to know each other. But they're also, out in industry working. So it's a really cool network to build. I just had a call actually with an alumni from 10 years ago who started his own company and hired a classmate from his cohort 10 years ago, and they're now working to build this startup company. So the alumni network is large. They're always helping each other out. It's a really cool community to be involved in. We have a private LinkedIn page that people share different opportunities that others can take advantage of. So it's a really cool network. Once you're part of the Gordon program, everybody's always talking about like who is the best cohort, who is the best class. So it's definitely a really cool environment to be involved in.
That's amazing. And lastly, can you tell us a little bit about Bernard Gordon himself and sort of the history of the program and the other universities that it's at because it's very selective.
It is, yeah. So Mr. Gordon is amazing. I personally have had the opportunity to meet with him many times. He's 98 years young, and he's really passionate about engineering leadership education. He found in his many, many years working in engineering that students were coming out of school and technically they were really, really smart. But when it came to leading projects, leading teams, they weren't doing so hot. So he created our program at Northeastern to help bridge that gap between engineering and leadership. We do have another program at MIT, which is an undergraduate engineering leadership program. We also have a sister program at Tufts University, which has spun into more of like a high-tech MBA program. And there is another at the Technion in Israel. Mr. Gordon's background, so he is most well known as the father of the analog to digital conversion. But if you talk with him, he will tell you that he is most proud of being part of developing the first fetal heart rate monitor. So he's just an amazing individual. He started many successful companies in and around the Boston area. Digital imaging is most of his focus. So if you've ever walked through like the airport security, that's Bernie's technology.
Amazing. Thank you so much, both Amy and Rachel, for being here. I'm sure there'll be more questions during our Q&A part of today, but we are so proud of the Gordon Institute and so honored to have you guys on today's call. Next, I'd like to hand it over to my colleague, Dr. Richard Harris. Dr. Richard Harris works very closely with our students in the underrepresented minorities, as well as the larger group of students across the nation. So why don't I hand it over to you? You can talk a little bit about the GEM database and working with our students.
Great. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate this. So I have the distinct pleasure of being an engineer by degree. I spent about 16 years in industry in the hybrid microelectronics subassembly area primarily, and then also in the electrochemical processing area in what's called organic photoconductors. Been affiliated with Northeastern University as a double Husky, if you will, since for 43 years. But I came back into this role here in academia, as I mentioned, 16 years in industry and now 24 years at Northeastern University. And so one of the key things we wanted to share with you were the opportunities that students often are looking for in terms of funding, but also in terms of community and being part of a cohort that supports them both during their undergraduate journey, but as mentioned with regards to the Gordon Engineering Institute Leadership Initiative or program, that it also presents an opportunity for you to be able to have a lifelong level of engagement. So one of those programs that I want to share with you is, as Kelly mentioned, is about GEM, the National GEM Consortium. And so I'm going to pull this up, if you will, from the website. And just let me know that you're able to see it.
We can see it.
Yes? Okay, great. So the GEM Fellowship actually presents an opportunity for students broadly, whether students self-identify as underrepresented or not. It's an open opportunity that presents itself for students across the board. The emphasis is on developing and supporting scientific impact. They have produced over 5,000 PhD students, or I should say funded over 5,000 PhD students since 1976 when GEM was founded. And it presents an opportunity not only for a PhD, but also for the master's. And so what it opens up is an opportunity that you'll see, and you can look at the website www.gemfellowship.org at your convenience, but you'll see there are areas for students to explore whether they're understanding what the fellowship program is about, how it supports students going forward, attending what are called grad labs, getting ready for advanced degrees. So the acronym GRAD actually means to get ready for an advanced degree. There are labs, or if you will, webinars or conferences that are held at institutions nationally primarily that afford you the opportunity to understand why grad school, how to apply to grad school, how to get funding for grad school, and voices from the field, individuals who either have already journeyed through or are on the journey to pursuing a STEM degree and part of the GEM family and consortium. You'll also be able to see, again, what that program calendar looks like, and then have a sense of where those fellows are engaged as it relates to their current state or status. At the top, you'll see the universities that are part of GEM. There are about 130 universities that are connected as GEM Fellowship or GEM University members. There are about 80 employers. Those employers provide an opportunity for you to be fully funded going forward. And so while some are private corporations, you also have FFRDCs, federally funded research and development centers, such as the Department of Energy, such as Brookhaven National Labs, and the list goes on. MIT Lincoln Labs, MITRE Corporation, Draper Labs, and so forth. And so that presents a unique opportunity. And then the alumni that you become a part of, as we talked about. Many of GEM fellows have become CEOs and leaders within companies that are well known. And you'll see some of those featured individuals on the website. But the one thing I want to share is there are three unique, distinct applications or conditions of being a fellow. And let me see if I can open up and find. So here you'll see about the program. It kind of gives you an overview again at the master's level or the PhD level. We have what are called employer fellows, and then we have what are called university fellows, and then we have what are called associate fellows. The most and likely and important distinct level of fellowship is the employer fellows. And so the employer fellows are focused on those individuals who apply for the GEM fellowship and are selected by an employer sponsor to engage in a research or professionally level engagement opportunity the summer before they start their graduate program, master's or PhD, and then the summer at the conclusion of the first year of their master's program to go forward. You're competitively compensated. It is an opportunity that the PhD students are only required if you secure an employer fellowship to only do the fellowship the summer before you begin your PhD program. But for the master's student, if you accept the fellowship, you are expected to complete a fellowship with an internship, if you will, the summer before you start and after the first year, the second summer, as you conclude your master's first year. Moving forward. This is also an opportunity open for those students who may be joining us that are +1 students. And this is unique to Northeastern currently, where those students do an accelerated master's program for this purpose. What you're seeing here is you get a stipend of $16,000 over the entire master's program. So if you're doing a traditional master's 2 years, it's $4,000 per semester. Fall, spring, fall, spring. If you are an accelerated +1 master's, you're actually getting 8,000 in the fall, 8,000 in the spring in order to satisfy that. Your funding is stackable per GEM's recommendation or requirements. There may be other fellowships that you may secure that may have more restrictions in terms of stackability, especially at the PhD level. But by and large, we've found that most students are able to stack. In other words, add on that's $16,000 on top of any other fellowships that they may be awarded. I already talked about the two paid summer internships. Again, that's at the master's level. There's only one paid internship required if you're a PhD student. And then you also are afforded full tuition and fees that is provided by the GEM University member as an employer-sponsored fellow. We currently are not awarding university fellows, which does not come with any employer sponsorship status. Many institutions have somewhat curtailed their ability to support students exclusively without the employer sponsorship. So just want to be transparent about that. And the same holds true for the associate fellowship going forward. The other thing is the application process begins in July. Typically, that will run all the way through, I think, the second Friday in November as the deadline. The opportunity typically requires a statement of purpose, an application that is done through the GEM portal. You also will require up to three letters of recommendations. You will be required to submit and identify at least three GEM universities that you have applied to in order to be competitively considered for the GEM fellowship. And the same holds true with at least three employer potential sponsors that you would have identified as you're going through the process. And then once that period is concluded in the second Friday of November, they will begin the process of identifying and selecting students who are admitted into the GEM fellowship, but also those employer sponsors will be interviewing prospective candidates as to whom they may want to select for employer sponsorship. So there's a lot of great information on the website. It talks about program eligibility. Again, it's STEM based. While the grade point average says that you have to have at least a 2.8 out of a 4.0, the average GPA is about a 3.4 in all honesty, and to be transparent again. And then identifying that it allows you as a U.S. citizen or a U.S. permanent resident. Again, being transparent, that allows you to be competitive for the fellowship. You can still apply, but the likelihood is you won't be able to secure the full fellowship based on that status. So I'm going to hand it back over. These give you the rules if you go forward. And again, it's a pretty good site for you to be able to explore and find out more information as it relates to the GEM fellowship. I'll give it back to you, Kelly.
Thank you so much, Richard. That was incredible. And similar to Amy, you have an amazing community on campus, a huge alumni network. Can you talk a little bit about those connections for your students as well? Oh, Richard, can you hear me? Oh, can you talk a little bit about your alumni connections and the community that you have on campus?
Sure, my bad, my bad. I heard you say Amy, so I thought you were referring to Amy. You meant, for example, like Amy. So that was my misinterpretation of the question. Sure. So as indicated, there are over 5,000 PhD alums that are part of the GEM Fellowship. We have within the university currently GEM Fellows that are within the Corey College of Computer Science, within College of Engineering, within the College of Science here, those three STEM colleges, if you will. And so you become part of what's called the Future Faculty and Professionals Network, FFP. And so they present opportunities to engage GEM Fellows in a unique aspect of creating community. They have guest speakers, guest lecturers that you're invited to attend. There is an annual conference that, again, fellows are encouraged and oftentimes are afforded travel grants to apply for in order to participate. I think this year we will be in Texas, but it travels around the country. I think last year we might have been in, if I remember correctly, San Diego. And so it presents a great opportunity to see other parts of the country, but also engage with individuals like yourselves. And so at Northeastern, again, we have a cohort across the three STEM colleges currently that support GEM fellows, but you're part of a national organization and to some degree international based on where those fellows have found themselves globally going forward. So it's a great community to be a part of. And many of them, again, are leaders uh, in academia, but also in industry. And many of them are also CEOs and places that I think would align with areas that students are expressing interest with.
That's wonderful. Thank you both so much, Richard and Amy, for presenting. I think what both of you represent are the larger community that Northeastern has, right? And so what we look to have is our students involved, much like in undergrad, when your involvement is almost as important as your academics themselves. We feel that is true at the graduate level as well. Whether you're a master's or a PhD, becoming involved in the organizations and using all of the resources that Northeastern has is such an important part of what makes a student successful as a master's or a PhD student here.
One thing I did forget to mention is GEM also affords both master's and PhD students to showcase their work, their research. It is done in a way that provides you the opportunity to express and share your scientific, intellectual interests and potential impact. But there's also a competitive component to it that affords you a unique distinction monetarily, depending on if you secure first, second, or third place within those annual conferences of presenting your research, both at the master's and the PhD level.
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm going to reshare my screen here. Let's see, view, slideshow. Wait, sorry. Are you all able to see this ambassador slide? Okay, perfect, wonderful. So the other element that I would like to highlight are our graduate student ambassadors. Our graduate student ambassadors are current students in your program of interest at your campus of interest. And I strongly encourage you to connect with a graduate ambassador, whether you are a prospective student or an admitted student who's planning to come to Northeastern. Our ambassadors are an incredible resource. They host WhatsApp groups. They're on Instagram, RedNote if you're in China. They will connect with you via email. They provide blogs so that you can prepare to come to your campus. They have created this amazing 60-page campus handbook so that everything that you need to know about Northeastern, from where to find printers on campus to how to navigate the Boston tunnels to where to find food in Toronto, everything is available within this incredible handbook. And so please look for that for our admitted students. We will send that out to you. But in general, just do engage with our graduate ambassadors. The QR code is here on the right-hand side, which will take you to their website, or you can send them an email, coeambassadors@northeastern.edu. Next steps. For students who are prospective students who have not yet applied, we encourage you to submit an application. There's no application fee for our master's programs for students applying to fall 26 or spring 27. PhD application fees are currently waived, and you can use the fee waiver code apply COE 2026. As part of your application, we do require 2 letters of recommendation, your unofficial transcripts, a statement of purpose, your resume. If you are an international student where the primary mode of instruction is not English, we require the IELTS, the TOEFL, or a Duolingo. And we do not require the GRE. The GRE is waived, but if you do submit the GRE, we do require your official GRE scores. Here you can see our application deadlines. So we have our June 1st deadline for international students joining us for a master's outside the United States or a PhD student. If you are inside of the United States or Canada, you may apply through July 1st, and our domestic students can apply all the way through August 1st for fall 2026 starts. Please note that we do operate on a rolling admissions basis. That means that no matter when you submit your application, we do hope to get your decision out to you within about 2 to 4 weeks. There may be some exceptions, and that is pending all official documents received. So if you're joining us from a foreign university, please make sure that you complete the foreign credential evaluation and any other requirements that may be showing in your portal. For students who are interested in studying in the Global Campus Network, so any campus outside of Boston, we are currently offering a 25% regional campus scholarship. And so, as a reminder, these are the programs on the right-hand side. We have in Seattle, we have data analytics engineering, data architecture and management, electrical and computer engineering, information systems and bridge, as well as robotics. Students who are studying in Vancouver can study information systems or data analytics engineering, as well as our Toronto campus. Cyber-physical systems is being sunset, but we will continue to offer data architecture and management, information systems bridge. And I would like to highlight our semiconductor engineering program in Oakland. We're actually offering a 50% scholarship for semiconductor engineering in Oakland, as well as a 50% scholarship for information systems and information systems bridge in our Miami campus. And students who are interested in semiconductor engineering. I know this is a hot field. I had the pleasure of meeting probably some of you while I was in India over the summer. And specifically in Bangalore, I heard a lot about the immersion of semiconductor engineering. I am delighted to say that we have a faculty member who is arguably a superstar of the semiconductor world. His name is David Horsley, and he is leading our semiconductor engineering program in the Oakland campus. And something that is so important in your graduate program is not necessarily where you're studying, but who you're studying with. And Northeastern is so proud to have David Horsley on our faculty to be a leader in the semiconductor engineering field and to be leading this program in our Oakland campus. He has a clean lab in his California facility that our students have access to, as well as a number of wet labs and other facilities that he's setting up to support the education in the Oakland campus. So if you are interested in semiconductor engineering, I would strongly consider you to look into the Oakland campus, which of course comes with this nice 50% tuition scholarship for the duration of your program. Okay, so before we move on to the Q&A portion of today's session, I would like to encourage you to please stay in touch with us. So here is our website where you can learn a little bit more about all of our graduate programs. We also have our wonderful admissions team. You can reach them at coe-gradadmissions@northeastern.edu. Please be patient with them. There's two of them managing the inbox, so they work to get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. But during peak season, they do get a lot of emails, so they'll get back to you as soon as they can. And of course, your student ambassadors are really your lifeline to your program. Faculty at Northeastern receive a lot of emails. They can't respond to all of them while also juggling their research and their teaching responsibilities as well as advising. So we really do encourage students to reach out to your ambassadors who are directly connected with your faculty and can provide you insight into the program and are quite a resource. So with that, I would like to move on to the Q&A portion here. Let me pull up. I see a lot of questions in the chat. Total cost of attendance, studying data analytics specifically at the Vancouver campus. So if you are a student who is studying in general, say our Boston campus, the cost of tuition is about $62,000. It's 32 credits times, I think, $1,900 per credit. And if you're studying in the Vancouver campus, you will receive a 25% scholarship. So 25% off about $60,000. Let's see. Amy, I think this question is for you. Can students studying at the Oakland campus apply to the Gordon Engineering Leadership Program?
So it is an on Boston on ground campus. So currently, unless you would like to do a year with us in Boston, it is only available to Boston students.
Excellent. Thank you very much. What if a student graduates in summer, they're starting for the PhD in the fall? Richard, this question is for you. Are they able to do a GEM employer fellowship if they're graduating with their bachelor's degree this summer and starting a PhD in the fall?
For this year, unless they've already applied for the GEM Fellowship and they've already secured an employer sponsorship, I don't see how they would be able to do that. However, any student going from the bachelor's straight into a PhD program would be able to do the summer just before they start their PhD program as part of the GEM Fellowship internship, and that would be the complete requirement for them with a GEM employer sponsor.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see. Students who are asking very specific questions about program eligibility. So, for example, this one is focused on bioinformatics. What I would really suggest is in April, we will host what's called Wonder Week. And so, if you actually Google Wonder Week at Northeastern, you'll get the lineup. I believe that it's already posted on the website. And these are our program specific sessions. And so students who are interested specifically in bioengineering or chemical engineering, all of our departments will host specific sessions then. We're also hosting a series of research specific sessions. So I know that we have a few secured with chemical engineering, bioengineering, civil engineering, I think electrical and computer engineering, robotics. They will all be hosting some research specific sessions so that you can hear a little bit about the faculty work and actually see their presentation. So I would strongly suggest that you look up the upcoming events and attend those. Okay, are international students eligible for the GEM Fellowship?
Technically, you're not eligible if you are an international student. However, we do have students who go through the application process. And while they're going through the application process, institutions, the university members will look at those applications and may provide them with their own university fellowships, but it wouldn't be an employer-sponsored fellowship from GEM directly.
Thank you so much, Richard. A student who comes from a non-engineering background and is interested in studying engineering, specifically computer, electrical, and computer engineering. So we don't have a bridge program into electrical and computer engineering, but we do have a bridge program into information systems, and we also have Bioengineering Connect. I find a lot of similarities between the bioengineering and electrical and computer engineering. We actually have many faculty that are duly appointed between those programs. And so if you're interested in electrical and computer engineering, I would strongly advise you to look into Bioengineering Connect. Okay, let's see. As an international student, how many co-op opportunities can I complete and what support does the university provide to help us secure them? Wonderful question. For this, the students at a master's and a PhD level, regardless of citizenship status, can complete one co-op as part of their grad program for 4, 6, or 8 months. And as Amy had mentioned, students generally don't they don't usually take courses while also completing a co-op. And so if you're joining us as an international student, you would utilize your CPT for part of this and still be eligible for your OPT afterwards. What support does the university provide? We have an amazing team of co-op faculty members who are deeply connected with industry. And so students who are interested in a co-op, or even if you're not, I would advise that you take the Intro to Co-op course. And this course really sets an incredible foundation for learning how to write a proper resume, how to set up your LinkedIn profile, how to network, and gives you the networking opportunities. And so they host events with employers that come in, and there will be meet and greets, there'll be coffee hours, there'll be Friday night drinks that you can go and meet employers and actually start to build your network that is so powerful here at Northeastern. Then students who are interested actually apply to the co-op. And by the way, if you haven't already, please register for our co-op specific session on Thursday at, I believe, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So in 2 days, I will be hosting alongside six of our ambassadors, including one of Amy's Gordon Engineering students. I will be hosting an amazing co-op specific Q&A panel. And so you'll actually hear from six different students, their experience and how they found co-op, what they did for co-op, what they're doing with their co-op experience now that they're continuing on their studies. And tomorrow, at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, I will be hosting a Women in Engineering panel where I will be alongside faculty, current students, and alumni who will talk a little bit about their experience for women in engineering. So, what is it like to be an engineer, to be a woman engineer in this field? But also, what did they do for a co-op and how did they go on to have a job? How do they manage their job and their work life? So, I think those are going to be two amazing panels. This is my favorite week of the year. So I do hope that most of you will join me for these sessions tomorrow and Thursday. Okay, so a student interested in climate engineering. Climate engineering, yes. We do have a degree in that within our civil and environmental engineering program. What I would also strongly suggest is looking at our sustainable engineering leadership degree. This is actually very uniquely to Northeastern. It is a dual degree program between Northeastern University and the University College of Dublin, which is arguably one of the most leading, highest ranked engineering programs in the world. And so through this program, students actually graduate with a dual master's degree. You have one from Northeastern and you have one from the University College of Dublin. So you do your first year here in Boston, you do your second year in Dublin, and then you get your 2-year stay back visa in Ireland. And so we're seeing this as a very rapidly growing program, a pretty amazing, highly competitive program within civil and environmental engineering. But if you're interested in climate engineering, please do consider that. I emailed the ambassadors 8 days ago, but haven't heard back yet. When should I expect a response? Sorry that you haven't heard back. I will follow up with them, but I will say they are in the middle of some major exams and we're buried under snow. So a lot of them are actually shoveling out themselves. And we had another storm coming this week. So I will follow up with them, tell them to get back to you. But I apologize. I think they've just been very busy between the exams and the weather. Are teaching assistant positions available? This is one of our most common questions. The answer is not immediately. Most of our students fund their education through personal funds, family funds, or educational loans. And then a teaching assistantship or a research assistantship may become available starting in your second semester, but they're highly competitive and they're rare. Can you display the application fee waiver code again? Yes, I can. Let me go back. Here it is. So again, the application fee is waived for all of our master's programs, and you only need the application fee waiver for our PhD programs. Are there any professors still looking for funded PhD students? Yes. It is not stated on the website, but there are absolutely PhD applications actively coming in. Okay, let's see. Our PhD also rolling. So PhDs, that's a far more complex answer. The applications are reviewed on a rolling basis. However, the admissibility into a PhD program is dependent on many stars aligning. That includes your background, your eligibility, your qualifications into the PhD itself, research or assistantships positions being available, and that depends on the source of funding. So is it a private fund or a federal fund? Faculty availability and a space in their lab. So PhD applications, you may get a decision quickly. It may take 6 to 8 months to get a decision. It all really depends on all of these stars aligning. And so we seek to be fully transparent with our students on this. Would the bridge program be a normal MS degree or will it be specified with bridge? It will not be specified with bridge. Students who enter in as a bridge student graduate with a degree in bioengineering or information systems. Okay, let's see. Can I apply without IELTS as a conditional? No. If your mode of instruction was not in English, then we do require the IELTS, and your application actually won't move forward without that reporting. Richard, is Northeastern sponsoring GEM Fellows, or will it have to be through a company?
Yeah, so unfortunately, currently we're only offering fellowships through an employer-sponsored fellowship program. Yeah.
Thank you. How can I apply for regional campus scholarships? No separate applications required. You simply apply to that program in that campus that you're interested in. We will automatically apply that 25% scholarship. That scholarship can be stacked up to 50%, so you may be eligible for additional scholarships, which will stack up to 50%. Are co-op programs applicable for foreign students? Absolutely. Our international and domestic students pursue co-ops. Okay, do I need an evaluation of my transcript? You do not need an external evaluation such as WES. We have our own foreign credential evaluation team, and so if you submit your transcripts, follow the instructions perfectly. They're very clear about what needs to show front, back, everything degree conferral, and we have a team of specialists in-house that do their own transcript evaluation. Okay. What is the tuition? Again, it's about $62,000. But then if you're studying in the Global Campus Network, there is a 25% Global Campus Scholarship. I think many of these are repeat questions. Um, Research assistants. What is the class size? Oh, good question. Class size can range. Some classes are as small as 7 to 10 students. Some classes are as large as 50 plus students. So it really depends on the course that you're taking. Can students with a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering be admitted into a master's in mechanical engineering? It depends on your background. It depends on the courses that you took as part of your degree. I would absolutely attend the mechanical engineering session that we'll host during Wonder Week and connect with an ambassador. But take a look online, see what the courses are, and it's not uncommon for students to change their engineering path. And so it really is dependent on what courses you've taken. What is the difference between IS and IS Bridge? Is it important when I find a job? I am a non-tech student. Information Systems Bridge is made for non-technical students, students that come from a non-technical background. Again, you'll graduate with a degree in information systems, and you'll be afforded the same resources as all of our information systems students to finding a career within the information systems sector. Will we get emails regarding research program specific and Wonder Week events? I believe yes, but let me direct you to the website. Stand by. Let me see here. Okay, so Northeastern. I will look it up. Okay, so I'm going to drop in here. This is Vancouver. It looks like it's not yet been posted online, but I will get them to update the events page ASAP. And so if you go to Northeastern College of Engineering events, I will have them drop in the links as soon as possible. In terms of the research specific sessions as well, those will be online very soon. Okay. Most of these, can you share the link to register for the co-op webinar? Yes. So, Eastern Engineers Week. I will drop this in the chat right now. Okay, so copy, bring it over here. I've lost you all. Here we are, chat. Okay, so I have put into the chat the link to the site, which should also have the registration information. Okay, back to the chat here. going to stop share so I can go through more of these Q&As. What does tuition and funding look like for students pursuing a master's degree with a thesis? And Amy, is it possible to participate in the Gordon Institute while doing a thesis degree?
So you can do both. It will add an additional 8 semester hours of thesis coursework to your master's. Typically, students don't do both a thesis and a challenge project because the challenge project is so similar. It's just an industry-based project versus an academic research-based project. That being said, we have had students, a few of them, who have chosen to do both, but it does add additional semester hours, and they can't be the same thing. So they can be related projects, but they have to be completely different projects.
Amy, while you're sharing, I did see a few questions that I just wanted to answer. A lot of students were asking if they were foreign, if they could apply to the Gordon Institute, as well as if they're pursuing their PhDs, if they're eligible for the Gordon Institute.
Sure. So yes, international students can apply to the graduate certificate. Typically, we encourage you to do your first year of technical coursework and apply to the Gordon program during your second year, mainly because of the requirement to be working in industry. So focusing that first year on your core classes will give you time to get acclimated in Boston and partner with a company for your challenge project. PhD students are eligible to do the program, but an individual course plan is put together for each PhD student because it's very important to work with your PhD advisor because you would be doing a PhD thesis and a challenge project. Most students need to have gone through and passed their qualifying exam and have an idea of what their thesis topic is going to be. Because it can work out really nicely that you go into industry and you work on something that's related to the research that you're doing on your academic based thesis.
Wonderful. Two last questions before we close out today. One was a student asking about the difference between the multidisciplinary versus the direct grad programs at Northeastern. So we have our 5 disciplinary departments, and then we have our department that is considered multidisciplinary, which is your information systems, data architecture and management, and software engineering systems. These are more considered terminal degrees. So these are students who are looking to go directly into industry. And so the majority of the program is specifically focused on training and skills that translate directly into industry post-grad. Whereas our disciplinary programs, those master's degrees, you can either do 8 courses as part of your degree, which is a course track. You can do a project track, which is 7 courses plus a 4 credit project. Or you can do a research track, and this is 6 courses plus 8 credits or 2 courses worth of a research project with a faculty member. That's an excellent opportunity for a student who's interested in continuing on into a PhD. Many students also do the research track and go into industry, but there's more of a research component as part of the the 5 disciplinary programs, departments, versus the multidisciplinary programs that are more, again, terminal degrees. Okay, wonderful. And then the last question was the difference between some of these, we call them university interdisciplinary programs. So you'll see some that have a CORI option or a COE option. So the CORI option is always going to be more focused on the computer science applied side of the house, where the COE options are always going to be more on the technical and more engineering focused. So, for example, artificial intelligence. CORI will have their computer science courses. COE will have the COE courses, but students often take courses between the 2 colleges, and so there's a lot of overlap there. And so no matter which you choose, however, scholarships that are specific to a college is only if you take that track. So, for example, if COE is offering a specific scholarship for the AI program, if you choose the CORI option, you will not be eligible for that scholarship. And that's true with all of our UIP programs. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining us today. This was a huge session. So many amazing questions. I thank you so much. I didn't have to pull up any backup questions. You all came with prepared with so many good ones. And I want to really thank our panelists, Dr. Harris, Amy, and Rachel. Thank you all so much for joining us today, for sharing all of these incredible resources. And to those of you who are in the Eastern Hemisphere, wishing you a good night. And to those of you who are in the Western Hemisphere, wishing you a very good morning. And I look forward to reviewing your applications, and I look forward to welcoming you to Northeastern as a Husky. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.